In the fluorescent-lit realm of quantum improbability solutions, specifically in the Department of Legacy Asset Retirement, which existed in a superposition of critically important and chronically underfunded, the square-haired boss was having what could charitably be called a contractual euphoria crisis. It had started, as these things often do, with a press release that arrived with all the subtlety of a controlled atmospheric re-entry. QIS had just been awarded an $843 million contract to deorbit the International Collaborative Orbital Platform, humanity's grandest achievement in peaceful cooperation, now scheduled for retirement. 25 years of continuous habitation, 420 metric tons of scientific legacy, and QIS was going to crash it into the ocean. The square-haired boss was beside himself with excitement, though not for reasons related to aerospace engineering. "Do you know who we're partnering with?" he announced at the all-hands meeting, his geometric hair achieving angles that suggested religious experience. Dax Rincewind, the Dax Rincewind. A quiet groan rippled through the senior engineering staff. Dax Rincewind was the founder of Rincewind Aerospace, Rincewind Tunnels, Rincewind Social, Rincewind Electric Aviation, and briefly, a cryptocurrency for dolphins that had somehow achieved a $12 billion valuation before anyone thought to ask what dolphins would buy. He had 7 children, each named after Greek letters and minor spacecraft components. He posted cryptic memes at 3 a.m. that moved markets. He had never, to anyone's knowledge, completed a sentence about orbital mechanics without pivoting to Mars. He arrived 90 minutes late, wearing sandals. "First principles," Dax said by way of greeting. He spoke for 11 minutes about the nature of gravity, mentioned Mars 4 times, compared the deorbit contract to the invention of fire, and then left before questions. "Visionary," breathed the square-haired boss. Senior Engineer Martinez excused herself to the bathroom, where she would remain for some time. The trouble began 3 days later, when Dax's actual proposal arrived. It was written on a napkin, photographed, posted to social media, retweeted 14,000 times before anyone at QIS had read it. The plan was elegant in its simplicity. Crash the station into Greenland. Ice absorbs impact, the napkin read. Natural refrigeration preserves debris. Charge tourists to visit. $800 billion opportunity. First principles. Julia, the intern, was assigned to verify the calculations. She was in her 3rd week. She had a functioning grasp of orbital mechanics and, crucially, a world map. "There's a problem," she told the square-haired boss 48 hours later. "Problems are just opportunities in disguise." 57,000 people live in Greenland. I'm sure Dax has accounted for that. The napkin says, and I quote, "Greenland empty, all ice, no people, free real estate." Perhaps he means spiritually empty. It also confuses kilometers with miles. The debris field calculation is off by a factor of Julia. The boss deployed his patient smile. Dax operates beyond conventional analysis. He sees connections we don't. That's why he's a visionary, and we're... He gestured vaguely at the office. "This." Julia went back to her desk. She stared at the napkin photograph. She thought about the 25 years of international cooperation currently orbiting Earth at 17,000 miles per hour. She thought about the astronauts who had called it home, from 26 countries, speaking different languages, sharing meals and experiments, and the peculiar intimacy of watching 16 sunrises per day together. She thought about Greenland. Then she called a journalist. The story broke the following morning. Tech billionaires plan to crash space station into populated territory. The napkin went viral. Within hours, it had become a meme format. People were photoshopping it onto historical disasters. Someone put it on a T-shirt. The square-haired boss called an emergency meeting. "This is unfortunate," he said, not looking at Julia. Dax, appearing via video link from what appeared to be a submarine, was unperturbed. "Greenland was Phase 1, he said calmly. "Phase 1 is always controversial. That's how you know it's visionary. Phase 2 is the real plan." He shared his screen. A new napkin appeared. "ORAC," Dax announced. "Orbital Retrieval Apparatus. Catcher class. We don't crash the station. We catch it." The diagram showed what appeared to be an enormous baseball mitt in orbit. "We catch it," Dax repeated, "and we bring it down gently, display it somewhere inspiring. I'm thinking my property in Texas. Charge admission, educational, ecological, first principles." "How large would this mitt need to be?" asked Martinez, who had returned from the bathroom with the haunted expression of someone who had seen too much. "Approximately the size of Luxembourg." "And the materials?" "That's what R&D is for. The propulsion requirements alone would—" "First principles, Martinez. First principles." The square-haired boss was nodding vigorously. "I think we can all agree this represents exactly the kind of innovative thinking that attracted us to this partnership." 2 weeks later, QIS received $2.3 billion in government grants for ORAC research and development. Congressional hearings praised the ingenuity of the private sector. The boss was photographed shaking hands with senators. Dax posted a meme comparing critics to people who doubted the wheel. Julia's leak was memory holed as a miscommunication during iterative design processes. Her internship concluded with a performance review that read "meets expectations" and a letter of recommendation that praised her enthusiasm for regulatory compliance. The napkin, meanwhile, was auctioned for charity. It sold for $4.2 million to an anonymous buyer who turned out to be Dax himself. And somewhere, 400 kilometers above the Earth, the International Collaborative Orbital Platform continued its slow, steady orbit, passing over borders that meant nothing from that altitude, crewed by humans who had figured out how to live together in a metal tube the size of a football field, completely unaware that its retirement was now in the hands of a man who believed Luxembourg was an appropriate unit of measurement for spacecraft. The universe, as always, declined to comment.